gorgeous lights. Welcome to the new day. I just actually wanted to put something up to actually explain about what the role of the re-educator is. Now, we all have different evolutionary processes, and that's something that's really, really important. But upstairs also wants to actually kind of illuminate that as you're transitioning, you go through quite a period of transition. Now, one of the things that carer souls, as they're transitioning into re-educators, seem to actually notice the quickest is that their patience and tolerance of other people has completely changed. They're getting very frustrated with people, they're actually getting short in their temper, they're getting short in their words, and then if you're a gorgeous carer soul, normally what they do is they feel terribly guilty that they're not able to pull patience and tolerance out of thin air for the people that they normally do as well. Now, this is a monumental time of shift in the carer soul, so it's really pivotal if you try and force yourself out of guilt to go even harder back into the energy of looking after other people that you're in for quite a long period of time, then you will simply make yourself really, really tired. Now, if you ignore it, you'll get more tired, more frustrated, and then illness starts to appear around carer souls, just simply to remind them that they are equally as important as everybody else. Now, that is the trajectory to be really, really mindful of. If you are forcing yourself to turn up in a certain way because you used to do that, then you're not actually recognising your own signs that you are actually transitioning. As you transition a little bit forward, you start to pull back because of that intolerance and frustration and go, I can't do this anymore. So you're acknowledging it to yourself that you can't turn up in the same way. But then you need to watch out for that backpedaling I just talked about as well, because then there's actually harder learning with it, because as you actually do get ill, you notice that there isn't people there for you in the same degree anyway. So it's kind of like a catch-22. So as you're noticing, then you go into this really kind of odd limbo space, and quite a few people talk to me and say, I've lost my mojo, I'm really tired. This is a reflection space for the carer souls to see what aspects of yourself that you actually really want to take forward into the next leg of the journey as a re-educator as well. Now, there's no rushing that process. I'd love to say that there is. There is no rushing that process whatsoever. There is actually sitting in the reflection, thinking about what you've done, and really starting to actually have a look at what you actually might like to do for you. Now, this is where also carer souls become unstuck, is because they actually go, well, I don't know what I love. And I don't know what I want to do, and I don't know how I feel about this. The reason why you're hitting that point is for most of the carer soul pathway has been about other people. It's been about looking at other people, looking after them, looking out for them, running around after them. Carer souls usually do not know how to do things for themselves as well. And I get a lot of people, and I love them for this, and they say to me, oh, but I go to the gym. And I'm like, okay, do you love it? And they're like, no, but I go to the gym for me. And I'm like, yeah, that's not quite it. It's really, really important to actually understand this is a rediscovery of what you love. You probably won't know what you love. It's not in the carer soul equation to actually look and go, I'm going to put me first. Most carer souls will default to, I'm being really selfish. No, you're not. You're not, but you have to get your head around that. Because your mind has been telling you, as you've been running on crisis management for a very long period of time, of looking after other people in crisis to crisis, that there isn't been a space for you to actually decide what you actually want to do for yourself. It's not going to hit you in the head like a piece of 4x2. This is a reflection time for you to have a look at what you truthfully love. You're not going to suddenly run away from people. You might feel like doing that for a period of time, but you're not actually going to run away from people. You are actually going to have a time out, Spirit calls it, to actually sit, and you'll get bubbled up memories from the past, you'll get bubbled up memories of situations that have actually happened before, and you'll look at what your role was in there and whether you want to continue with that role, what you want to do. It's a real negotiation time with yourself. Only most carer souls don't actually know that they're doing it. They're too busy picking on themselves, going, I'm not turning up in the way that I was before. you're not going back. There's no going back. You're actually transitioning into this really wonderful space, which is a more balanced space, where you're actually moving forward. Now, the other thing to watch out for is during that period of time, you'll be wanting people to understand where you're actually coming from, and then you'll get actually exhausted by trying to explain to people where you're actually coming from. My suggestion is don't. You're dropping the need to justify your own behaviour to yourself and to other people as well. Now, you will have family members if you're used to actually, and friends, if you're used to turning up in the carousel role, which is looking after absolutely everybody. When you're turning up in that role, people only know you as turning up in that role. So they will find it really hard that you're not turning up in that role anymore. The key is actually being really, really gentle with yourself and really kind to them. And you can say, look, I'm just evolving right at the moment, not too sure what I'm evolving into, but can you bear with me? And for those people that actually say to you, well, I think you're being really selfish and you're only thinking of yourself, you've got to say thank you to those people, because what they're illuminating is what you actually say to yourself in your own head and what you think about yourself. And most carousels, as I said, think they're really selfish. You're not. You just have learned to put yourself last, and it's time to change that. And your soul is actually pushing forward, saying, I am transitioning, I am changing, and I'm changing into this re-educator role. Now, the re-educator role, as it transitions forward, so you're going into this weird limbo and you don't know what you want and you don't know what you love and you don't know who you want to have around you. This is a gentle exploration to find out what you actually need. It's an opportunity in this reflection time to release the stuff that's bubbling up from the past and forgive yourself. There is a big key to all of this. Forgive yourself for thinking that you had to turn up in any other different way than just who you are. You have the most beautiful heart, you're here for the planet, but you're here for the planet being you, and that's your re-education space. You're re-educating yourself about how you want to turn up in balance, how you actually want to talk to people in balance, how you want to do things in balance, what you do want to do, what you don't want to do. All of this is under investigation during this period of time. Now, it could take a year, 2 years, 6 months, 3 months. It depends on the personality. And it depends on how willing you are in yourself to actually embrace the changes that are happening within you, for you, and externally actually around you as well. And one of the pivotal things that I notice that come when carousels land on my couch and they're at this transitional stage is they have the words "I'm done" above their head. Now, normally we all recognise that we don't change something until we're done. And Spirit will quite often illuminate this around you. So the universe conspires in the best possible way to push you and push you and push you before, to realise that you're done. That "I'm done" is pivotal, absolutely pivotal. It pushes you forward into going into realisation that you have actually been putting yourself last for a period of time. Now, Spirit has said, like, where to from here? Where to from here? Where to in your evolution? I suggest you start simply. Stepping stones, tiny stepping stones, change your routine, change clothes, change hair, change makeup, change friends, whatever. Start with one stepping stone where you can start to go, oh, here I am under all this programming. Here I am under all these expectations that I put on myself. And I actually truthfully, and that's the key to it, admitting truthfully to yourself, I don't want to turn up in this way anymore. So don't. No one's making you do it. You actually have to decide in yourself to listen to your own soul, not your mind that says, I've always done this, and actually step into ownership of what you actually want to transition forward into. You won't know what that is. I didn't know what it was until I did it. You need to step into ownership of going, actually, what do I truthfully like? And then what do I truthfully love? Now, Spirit always suggests at this time that you do what they call 5 soul singers. Now, they are 5 things or 5 activities that you do that just makes your soul sing. It makes your soul go, I loved that. Now, for me, it's one of those is walking the beach, being on the sea, anywhere near the sea. That's a soul singer for me. So they can be really, really simple. That's my point. Really, really basic. A lady that she loves her bed. She's just like, oh, giving myself permission to actually stay in bed for another couple of hours and just go, you know what, I love this is just for me. Exactly. They're really simple. You'll be surprised. Do things that you wanted to do when you were a kid. Go back and revisit some things where you just thought, actually, I really loved this. Why did I actually give it up? Or why did I stop doing this? Because I got too busy doing everything else. We like to tell ourselves, and society programs us, that being busy gives you purpose. It doesn't. It actually just usually steals your energy away, makes you feel pressured, makes you feel pushed. And part of your role as a re-educator is to actually teach other people that permissive states are actually okay. It's okay not to do the housework relentlessly every single day because you don't feel like it. You could do if you love it, but I haven't found very many people on the other side that say, I wish I had done more housework. Wish I had worked harder. I wish I had bent over backwards more. Kind of struggling to find those ones on the other side actually, because it doesn't usually work that way. At the end of the day, look at what's making you tired and start to change that. A lot of people say to me, I think I'm really done with this job. Well, you probably are. But if you're going to relentlessly tell yourself that you have to turn up each day, getting tired and getting more frustrated, not liking your work colleagues, well, I'm afraid that's a choice. There's actually a choice to do that. You haven't quite got to I'm done yet, but you'll head towards there. So it's really, really important. Re-educators are here to re-educate other people that living, breathing, having a beautiful life is possible. How's it possible? Get off the rat wheel. Get off the rat wheel. You've put yourself on a rat wheel that's just consuming your life. You're never born just to exist. You're never born just to pay all the bills and hate what you do. You're never born to do that. You can exist doing that. And I know that we're on really unsettled times at the moment, but you know what? It's all combining and colliding together to push people even closer to I'm done and I need to change things. I have a huge amount of people at the moment. I'm so in awe of them. They are changing their properties, they're growing vegetables, they're looking at their life and they're going, what can I provide for myself? What can I provide for others? How can I look after my life? How can I simplify it? And that's pretty much a key to a re-educator as well. Living your life in a simple way without pressures, with having good friendships around you, having good people around you. You're going to lead by example by what you actually choose to do. You're going to lead by example by how you actually turn up. And that is something that's really deeply entrenched into the soul of yourself. And it's your soul that's trying to get past rational mind. It's your soul that's trying to get past this locked way of thinking that actually keeps you trapped in an aspect that doesn't actually serve you anymore. So this is really, really pivotal times. Now, there's also, as we're transitioning, all the things that come up in ourselves that other people are illuminating for us. You're so selfish, you don't think it's for me, you don't do this, you don't do that. They're all just illuminations through people of the awful things that you actually say to yourself. So you can't quite shoot the other person for their illumination of what you secretly say in your own head. So please be mindful. This is addressing the shadow parts of ourselves. This is dropping any illusions on how we treat ourselves as people and how we actually turn up as well. So these are massive months that we've got coming up to Christmas. They're illumination central months. You'll be looking at people and actions and planetary actions and global actions and national actions where you're like, actually, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Where did that come from? I don't agree with that anymore. And this is the types of changes that people are actually going through right at the moment. Now, there's two ways that it goes. We either actually acknowledge and go, yep, we're changing and transitioning into something else. Fantastic. Woo, have fun with that. Or we hunker down and try and hold on to the old. All it's going to do is make people more fearful, more terrified, and actually more shrunk down into a fear aspect as well. We are changing, the whole planet's changing. These are times that actually illuminate where we get real with ourselves and find out what's truthfully actually important. And history does repeat itself. We're in a planetary alignment to do with the past and how we actually deal with things as well. Look after yourself, treat your body right, treat the people around you right. This is a time for unity, not division, and it's a time for us to unify within ourselves with our soul aspect that actually says this is who I truthfully am and this is who I truthfully want to turn up as. This is a time of change. So all you re-educators, transitioning re-educators, carer souls transitioning as well, please make sure to understand you're on track. The universe has your back, and you really need to find your moments of joy and keep your energy levels elevated. We're all in this together, and it keys on us being as loving and as kind to each other as well. We all want understanding from each other during these transitions. You're becoming your truthful alignment in yourself. Some people's truthful alignments you might not like. That's okay. They're not your tribe. Don't try and convert them. It's not worth the time and energy. Everybody has their own evolutionary pathway. And quite simply, some people don't want to evolve. And you know what? They don't have to. But you don't have to make yourself miserable sitting right on top of them trying to convert them into something they don't want to be either. You are changing at a personal level for yourself into the beautiful re-educator by example. So please do lead by example. Your beautiful heart, your beautiful soul knows what you actually came to do, and this is your time, people. So it's time to step into ownership. Find your voice. Have an opinion. Give yourself permission to say, I don't agree with that. Give yourself permission to go, oh, you know what, I'm done. I'm changing a whole lot of things. Nothing's going to break if you do that. What's going to happen is you're going to crack open into the real you, and you're going to actually discover for the first time in a long time you actually like that person. You may even love that person, which is what you're supposed to do. This is heading towards, the planet is heading towards unity, and it's happening anyway, and people are waking up quicker, faster, right at the moment, and they're looking for what they want to head towards. Head towards yourself, your own understanding. Don't drag the rest of the world with it. It's enough just to change your light. It's enough just to lead by example. That's enough. So if you're wanting to look where to start with you, and start with honesty, kindness, compassion, and love. They're the only way through this, and we're in it together. I hope this has made some sense to some people out here. I've got spirit always with me, big angelics, working with so many people. I've never seen so many angels down on the planet in my life, and I've never ever seen so many amazing people in spirit just pushing forward, going, you've got this, come on. We've got a big team in behind going, we're heading in this direction, and the direction is unity, and it's time to be honest and find the way through it, not with anger and blame and guilt and divide, but with unity, compassion, understanding and love. And we can do this. With so many re-educators out there, you can lead by example. Take care of you and keep shining.